This is the $500 lease option, which we're going to net $600 a month. Guys, in this deal, I wound up giving the seller $500 up front, and I'm actually gonna make $6,000 this year. Okay guys, in this video, I'm gonna show you how the lease option went down, and I'm gonna explain exactly how you can do exactly what I did and copy my system. Come on guys, let's go in and we'll take a quick tour, I'll show you. Okay guys, before I walk in, you're probably looking around and go, man, Rick, I think you're doing the exact same video, you're duplicating it. Let me tell you how this works. If you look right across the street there, you see that, I call it the mellow yellow trailer. I actually bought that deal, and then I asked the seller. So they referred me to this property. I got in touch with the owner, and this is the deal I'm gonna break down to you today. How cool is it that you can own two properties right across from the street from each other? Just by asking people, do you know of any other properties for sale in the neighborhood? Just from that one ask question, we wound up with this deal, 500 down, 6K a year. Let's go inside and take a look at it. Here we are guys, this is trailer number 2. And so as I said earlier, we did a lease option. So a lease option is very, very simple. And let me just break it down for you. The owner wanted to get rid of the property, actually lived up to New York, and he owned it free and clear. So this is not a subject to. So the easiest way to take the deal down was to do a lease option. So basically what we do is we do an option. So I negotiated to give him $500 up front. That's right. Honestly, the less you can put down, the less you're going to be at risk on a deal like this, because you're not personally guaranteeing a note. But he was ecstatic to get the $500 because he had a tenant move out and the tenant wasn't paying him. So I gave him $500 down, and then we did the lease. And my lease was basically for 10 years. You can make it for 5 years, 3 years, 30 years, it doesn't matter. And I'm paying him $300 a month, and I got a 90-day window to get the property ready. So in the first 90 days, I didn't owe him a dime. So it's $300 a month. So I'm a total out of pocket right now is $500. Now, a little place like this was built in, I think, 06, 07. It doesn't need a lot of work, and I'm gonna kind of walk you through and show it. So I'm not scared to get in here. Me and Zach will jump in, do some cleanup, take out some garbage, change some air filters, and we'll just put it up on Craigslist. I like to put a sign out in the front yard in the neighborhood. So let me break the math down on this deal. At this point, I've given the seller $500 for the option of renting this house out for 10 years. And so what we negotiate on that is a sale price of $30,000, and it's structured over 100 payments, which means after the first 90 days, I'm paying him $300 a month. So I paid him $500. In 90 days, I owe the first payment of $300, and we should be able to rent this for $950. So $950 minus the $300 gives me a cash flow of $650 a month. If you average out some tax and insurance, it winds up being around $6,000 a year in total profit. Now, that's not a ton of money, but you got to understand, I only laid $500 out, guys. So I'm cash flowing from day one I own this. I am not at risk. I didn't sign a mortgage. And if I can collect 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, you can earn 25, 30,000 years, somewhat passive income. You're still going to have to work from it. And then in 10 years, everything's paid off. The rents are go up. And then that's when you get your like really big payday. So these are really simple deals. We didn't have to involve a contractor. It was a quick clean out. Okay, so let's talk about phase 2 of this. So we talked about basically we're earning $6,000 a year up front, like we've made money from day one. And that's how you need to do real estate. So let's talk about the long-term play with this. Basically after 10 years, I've paid off the contract I owed, which is basically $30,000. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think this thing's worth today? Well, as of right now, the retail value of this type of property, remember this one's got central air, it's got 2 bedrooms, it's got 2 bathrooms. It's really affordable living in Florida under $1,000. Its approximate value right now is $75,000. Yes, I could flip it, I could wholesale it, and I could make a ton of money, but this is a very easy way to make passive income that you have to work for in real estate. And also it's on a 1/4 acre of land, which we own with the property. So it's a huge, huge benefit. What is it going to be worth in 10 years? I don't know. I hope it's worth double or more, but it doesn't matter. It's what it's worth today. So if it's worth 75 grand, I'm getting $950 a month, making 6 grand a year. And we did a creative lease option for $30,000 and we only put $500 out of pocket. Guys, when I move somebody in, I'm gonna get first, last, and security. I'll get close to $3,000. And then the equity build up over time. Plus you get huge tax advantages with being able to write off a lot of the costs associated with owning a property. You guys can do this. These are really, really simple deals. Can you afford to pay someone $500 to make 6 grand a year? And if you can do it on 1, you can do it on 50, you can do it on 100. There's no reason you can't do it. So we talked about, we initially bought it, $500 out, paying $300 a month, making $6K a year. We talked about how we basically bought it pretty much 50 cents on the dollar, and we want to grow with this property and create long-term wealth. So let's talk about after 10 years. Yes, we'll have repairs, we'll have all sorts of fun stuff going on with it. But after 10 years, we'll earn $60,000 of steady stream income through the rental. And then what's going to be worth in 10 years? I'm assuming it'll be worth, it's got to be 90 or 100K, you know, whatever it is. I don't depend on it. I just treat it like it's gravy. And then what are the rents going to be worth in 10 years? So now 10 years later, I own it outright and it's renting for $1,500 a month. So $1,500, now we're basically making close to $12K a year and we have no debts or bills on the property. So it's cumulative, it builds up. Yes, you'll have repairs along the way, but it's a simple, affordable living. Guys, you need to look into buying mobile homes because they are the new affordable rentals, especially in the Florida market, but really anywhere all over the country. People can't afford to pay $2,000 and $3,000 in rent. When the economy, hey, what happens if the economy goes belly up? They are going to pay their $950 in rent because they need to keep their home. So let me teach you the exact technique I did to actually get this deal from the seller. So remember, this was a referral from a deal that was across the street. And I got the actually seller's phone number and I contacted him. I believe he was in New York, as I said earlier. And I reached out to him and I just asked some basic questions on it. What are you doing with the property? What are your plans? He just told me he had a tenant moved out. They didn't pay him the last 6 months. The property's kind of difficult for him to manage from New York, and it's just a mobile home. Like, he just didn't care. The taxes were all paid up to date and everything. So I found out he has zero cash flow. There's absolutely no debt on the property. In my opinion, it's the perfect scenario to offer a lease option. So I said, Mr. Seller, what if I could put $500 in your pocket in the next 48 hours to 72 hours, and then I'll take over the property, and then I will give you $300 a month after the first 90 days for the next 10 years. Is that something you would be interested in? And his answer to me is like, how do I sign the papers and when's the money coming? And it was really just that simple. So we executed a lease option, $500 down, and 90 days, we sent $300 a month. By that time, I have a renter in at $950. I'm netting 6 grand a year. My question to you is, can you do this exact same thing? Yes, just do exactly what I did. He owned the property free and clear outright. It was a very, very simple strategy. And yes, you can decide to flip it. Why would you flip it? If you need money now, if you need to pay your rent, you need to take care of your family or something like that, flip it, guys. So on this property, if you decide to keep it as a long-term investment, meaning you want to create long-term generation wealth, this is how you're going to do it. So you hear this thing about inflation. If you want to hedge against inflation, owning a piece of real estate like this where you really took no risk, you didn't sign a personal note, this will grow with the inflation. So as rents rise, your income will rise, and you already have the asset locked down. It's already built. So you will get an appreciation just based on the inflation alone. Rent should rise up over the next 3-4 years, especially in like the lower income, because there's going to be more pressure, more people that are renting. Guys, generational wealth, the best way to do it is find affordable living and find a way to leverage yourself in it without using banks and putting you or your family at risk. So let's walk around. I'll give you a quick tour, just kind of show you what a typical pairs, really minor stuff to get going. So this one actually has central AC, which is a big plus around here. You can see this kitchen. It's actually not a bad kitchen. It's bigger than some of the regular house kitchens. If you look up here, we had a little bit of water leak. I talked to the owner. He said that's originally when they moved the trailer. So I'll get a handyman in here and mud it up, put some kills on it, sand it down and paint it. Sink needs cleaning out. Typical fridge stuff. Guys, you guys can do this on your own. Like a lot of these repairs, most of you guys know how to do. I did it for my first 10 years. It's no big deal. And if we can't get somebody in a timely manner, me or Zach or both of us will just jump on it. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's a split floor plan. So this is actually, I think it's around 900 square feet in a trailer. It's not even a double wide. So over here you have a, oh, check this out, guys. It even has a washer dryer all in it. Yeah, most trailers, most people wind up going to the laundromat. So this is a premium on the trailer. So guys, when you're looking at like affordable living, when you look at washer dryers, those are actually considered premiums and you'll get more money. So remember, you're saving them a trip to the laundromat. I remember back in college when I went to the laundromat, you had to carry a roll of quarters around. It's a pain in the butt and it's expensive. And you have to sit there and wait for your clothes to dry. So this is one of the selling features of the house. And this room's probably 15 by 10. And remember, this is how we bought it. It's a bathroom with your nice Roman tub. I mean, it's clean. It's really like, people just want a safe place to live. So you have the bedroom on the side, the kitchen. Remember, guys, we're not realtors. We're investors, but you got to think when people rent or buy a property. This is the main living area. And if you look on it, this even has like modern windows. Meaning it's not like the old jealousy windows. It's really easy. And really cool, guys, look at this. Central AC, huge premium. Most trailers are going to have window units. If you can have central AC, people will pay you more for it because their electrical costs are much lower and they know the house will be cool. So, bathroom, just needs a little bit of a cleanup in there. And right here is the other bedroom, a little bit smaller, would be like a kid's bedroom. And that's it. Okay, guys, follow me. Excuse, that's one of our neighbors chopping a tree down, but the owner informed me they just put a brand new shed on a year ago. He spent $4,000 on it. And if you look, they even put a AC unit in there. So that's the well and like the salt treatment. I'll have somebody out come and take a look at it. And check this out. This is the fun part of all the properties we buy. I haven't even figured out what's in here yet. Scared to luck. So you always get surprises. I just hope there's not an animal in here. So if you guys look in there, there's cleanup bags. I mean, we always get tons of junk. Remember, we're in the real estate business. I'm not in the thrift business. I don't do garage sales. Don't get tied up in that stuff. It's just a distraction. I don't know, maybe Zach wants that. But you got a 1/4 acre to walk all the way around the property. You notice here, you got to pay attention. The previous tenant had a dog and they put up a structure for us. I love dogs myself, but they're very rough on properties. But on a mobile home, it's not a big deal if we have like one small dog in here. Probably just wind up leaving the structure here. Once again, guys, it is a premium feature to have your dog fenced in. If you didn't have this fence in, they're gonna ask me to put up a fence and I ain't gonna do it. Always be wary. It looks like they just use it as like a workshop. So remember, most mobile homes don't have a garage. So having like a utility shed, we have this one, they have another structure over there. There's a window unit. It's not finished, but this is typical garage stuff. So it looks like somebody has some sort of workshop in here. You can see all the machine parts and everything. So guys, once again, this is a premium feature. So I'm gonna have to sit down and Zach will help me figure out exactly what we'll get in rents, but $950 I know is the minimum because it's the going rate. Maybe we get 1,000. I don't like to over push the rents. I like to get tenants who pay. So guys, that's it. That's our $500 lease option on our mobile home. There's no reason you can't do this exact same thing. Just find out how you can help the sellers and structure a deal that works for you and works for the seller, and you'll be doing deals just like this. This is Rick with Flip with Rick, and I'll see you soon.